So this will not be a talk about just the negative impact of computer and internet use and cell phone use, but it's a talk I want to share to bring a little bit more awareness about where we turn our minds and bodies to. So since COVID, billions of people worldwide are more depending on using computers, cell phones to continue their work, school, and social life. Now we work from home, children do schooling from home, we continue having social networks even more extensively to stay connected. We do online shopping, even telemedicine. According to a research, the broadband usage doubled in just the first 6 months of last year. Also, of course, since the Abbey residents are staying in shelter, we offer now all our courses, retreats online. We spend more time on the computers, hosting, attending Zoom discussions, public event gatherings, and even pujas performed via Zoom and live stream. I personally also found that the communication via email has increased. More people are sending email informations and communications regarding our programs. But for our own benefit here at the Abbey, we have guidelines on how to use the internet, for example, and when to use it. We don't have personal social media accounts nor cell phones. And during retreats, we set limits how to use the internet as well. Many of us have reported that the time without looking at the news was actually quite releasing for their mind. Instead of looking into the news, we got more time to exercise, to read real books, to write, to think about the Dharma. But for many of our friends outside, they may not have had this opportunity. It's actually quite rare to be able to take time off and do a retreat, such as for 2.5 or 3 months. So our friends have to learn other ways to find time, to find the time off from the internet. Through strict guidelines at homes, self-control or other measures, because the constant use of phones, tablets, internet can actually quite disturb our mind, can influence our concentration, and even has an impact on our physical health. When I studied social science in Berlin, Germany in 98 or 99, one of my first seminars in microsociology I attended was about the use and effect of computers and co on individuals and family. My college friend and I, we focused on the topic protective measures for children from the internet. So we built a website ourselves, informing parents, educators, teachers on the new studies about the effect on computer use, on the development on children. We also focused on preventative measures to avoid uncontrolled internet use for children, by children. So now I think this awareness and knowledge should not just be limited to children anymore, but to adults as well. Especially nowadays, we spend so much time in the internet due to COVID-19. We got so used to get immediate gratification through the internet with one click, by ordering things, for example, or one click and we get the news we want. And it can be quite addictive to children and adults alike. It can have a long-lasting impact on our mental capacities. It can lead to depression, anxiety, decline of our concentration, and even do some physical harm. It can destroy even democracy. You can learn in the documentary, The Social Dilemma, that I highly recommend. I will highlight in more details a little bit about the strongest impact of internet use on us. For us meditators, it's even more important to be very mindful of how we use the internet. I was indeed shocked seeing the monks in South India when I visited last year. So many of them had the phones when walking, when eating, when being with their friends, and I was concerned. So again, I don't want to put these technologies totally down, but I would like to just bring a little bit more awareness and like to encourage us to think and regain the power of our mind. So one of the first impacts, the pioneers of electronic communication were in the very beginning optimistic that actually the internet can help us to have more participation in democratic processes versus the classical mass communication. But now everybody can open a blog, can write comments to medias, and but it does not mean that necessarily the quality of it increases. In fact, when we have more choices, then we select what actually fits to our personal view. We are very selective. This can lead to a so-called bubble phenomena. So social media sites such as Facebook and Instagram even strengthen that through personalized ads. And that can screw our view on the world, and we are more susceptible to a wrong view. Then also the use of smartphones and tablets can make depressed and weakens our self-confidence, according to some psychologists. To be able to read on a small phone, you have to bend your head down often, as we see, and even a tablet can lead to such phenomena, and they call it the head-down generation, you know. And so the body posture and our emotions influence each other. And if we feel depressed, then we automatically adapt a posture such as we let our shoulders down, our head down, right? And do that for 30 minutes or do that just for 30 seconds and you feel a certain effect on your mind. And instead of or in an opposite way, adapting a position of a very optimistic, joyful person like Venerable Shutrin by lifting our head, our shoulders upright, standing straight, and smiling. So our posture has a great influence on our mental well-being. So when we use smartphones or even tablets, a lot of it can affect our mood. If we bend down our backs and lower our heads while trying to read on a smartphone, this is exactly the posture that we adopt when we are depressed, for example. So unconsciously, due to this posture, we could adapt a negative, even depressed mood. A hunched posture, so psychologists could reinforce insecurity and shyness versus a straight, uplifted posture of a confident, optimistic person. This is just a very small selection of all what is out there in the world on the effects of our physical posture through these technologies. Also, the internet media use can lead to a decline of our mental capacities. According to neurologist and psychiatrist Professor Manfred Spitzer in his book Digital Dementia, he published it already in 2012. As more as we use the internet, scroll through social media sites and news channels, as more our memory will get weak, we have an increased attention deficit and more problems with reading texts. So even medical doctors in South Korea have confirmed that from their own experience. So I think also we will lose touch with what is most important to us, such as learning, relationships, being with nature, physical fitness, and studying the Dharma as a Buddhist practitioner, meditating. So another side effect is also the extensive use of power due to digital technology. According to Google, a single internet search consumes as much energy as an 11-watt LED bulb that burns for 6 minutes. So imagining about 2.5 billion people are nowadays online, how much energy that will be. And last but not least, we are the product of some rich companies who are making money of how we think, what we do, and how we are. And that's actually the most scary thing. Every click, every moment we look at pictures, our data will be served and to perfect the market. As Jaron Lanier, he is a computer scientist and founder of virtual reality states, in the documentary The Social Dilemma, again, I really recommend watching that a few companies who develop softwares and co are interested in getting as much of our time, of our life as they can. With it comes a gradual, slight, imperceptible change in our behavior and perception. And that's what they call as we are the product. They see us as a product, as users. They are basically making money with how we think, what we do, and how we are. It's a gradual change. It's very slight. It's barely recognizable, and but it's important to be aware of it. Therefore, I think we need to be very conscious how we use the internet, especially social media. And we need to be aware of our actions, and we can adapt the same method like as a Buddhist practitioner, approach the news, approach whatever we have to do on the internet to propagate the Dharma or to connect with others, to do it with a bodhicitta motivation that will help us to stay strong with whatever our intention was in the first case, and not to overdo it, for example, to look more and more into the news because there's more and more out there. And we have this powerful mind of ours. It's so precious. It's a precious human life that we have. And so I would like to encourage us, myself and everybody else, not to waste it, to use it actively. There's this beautiful world outside as well, with so many sentient beings that that need our support, that need us to benefit them, to lead them to awakening. And so let's, computers and co, be just a tool for us to benefit us and to benefit others, but not let them get control over us. And still they can help us sharing the Dharma and sharing in other ways, but not more than that. Thank you.